is Abhilash. I'm currently working as a product manager at in an edtech startup called Motion Education. It's a coaching class for competitive exams as well as foundation courses. And right now, they are on the path of digitization, and we're building the platform for learning for students across the board. I recently got into this formal product role, but I've had experience of building products for about 3 years before this. There are like two. I personally face two challenges. One is from the employer side. It's like any and almost every role was being pushed across as product management, and unless you actually had a conversation with them, you never really understood the essence of the role. That was so it was a lot of and also what happens is what I saw was, even in product management jobs, right, they will use employees used to have the same job description, so you never really knew that if you join XYZ company as a product manager, what it is that you will essentially be doing. So that was one part. So it took a lot of filtering, a little bit of research on my own part to before applying to that company. So that was one. And second, when you do find jobs which are good, with good companies, good roles, then because I was not coming from a proper product management role, that was a bit of a hindrance. And on top of it, the MNC I used to work with was a B2B company, and whereas I was applying to product management roles in B2C companies, so that was also a hindrance. It's actually the most difficult thing with product management is that it's not a very defined role with clear boundaries. You have to have knowledge and in some cases expertise across multiple across the spectrum, right from research, design, a bit of development, testing, and analytics. Having so product management helps, definitely helps with that. And before all this, obviously there is a lot of ideation, research, and customer interviews that go into the process before you actually start drawing up something on the whiteboard. That is primarily how product management has helped me. I would say this is primary is communication, because in product management you will be dealing with multiple stakeholders, and at different points in time the dependencies are vary widely. So communication needs to be very crisp and extremely clear. That is one. And also prioritizing your tasks, not only pertaining to a product, but in general of a workday, how you prioritize your tasks. So that is those couple of things is what product management will teach you very well. Yeah, so I did attend a couple of, quite a number of interviews, and essentially where it starts is why product management. So I think that is one question where the employer is also trying to screen it out. Whether a candidate is really clear on his perspective, or are they just testing the waters because the market is hot, something like that. So one is so that is how YPM is how it started, and then suddenly, because I was in a stage where I was switching career from a business strategy / finance to a product management role, right? So that was one key question, that why you want to change tracks at this point in time when you've already done well over there. So those two questions candidates need to be very clear. Then coming to Then coming to the technicalities, it was more about a case study. If one question was, if you want to improve, add a new feature to Spotify, what would that feature be, and what is the process you'd go about? So this is more on the line of product sense and product thinking. So follow-up question was, what is your favorite product? Why it is your favorite product? And is there anything you would want to improve on in that product? Then coming to then there were a couple of design questions uh, on knowledge about tools for wireframing, prototyping, mock-ups, etc. Then we jumped on to the coding part. Now I'm not coming from a computer science or an electronics background. It was important to know, how much of tech I really did understand, and that is at a broad level. What are APIs? What happens when you type a URL in a browser? What is how does IoT work essentially, etc. And then there were behavioral questions, how do you handle pressure? How do you handle pressure? How do you deal with conflicting conflicting opinions? And how do you manage deadlines, etc. That was this is all spread across 3 interviews, but that is largely the substance of it. So inside, obviously now that a lot of options have sprung up for learning, whether it's data science or business analytics or product management. But one thing I found very convincing with Insight was people who will be teaching, they would be ones who are actually doing the job in very big companies, and when I say very big companies, what I mean to say is they're handling very big and very complex products also. So that is one. And second is the structure of the course is very well structured in terms of there's in terms term 1, term 2, like that to term 6, and in between there are assignments as well as refreshers. So the structure and the time it gives to a learner, to learn it, think about it, and then experience, use that experience in his daily life. I think that's important. And recently we got done with the capstone project. That was by far the most interesting thing. And the feedback is pretty good. So that is about it, I would say. So if I were to summarize why Inside, one is structure, second is teacher, third is refreshers and assignments, and quick feedback. So in my previous role, where it was related to business strategy and finance, so there were several inefficiencies in terms of how data was being either handled or communication was being done over major transactions. So with when I saw that gap, right, so we came up with this idea of developing an internal web portal with different modules which will cater to different users, and it will make things easier. Right from origination of a financial transaction to processing it, to verifying it, to recording it for accounting purposes. So and now this was a responsibility I took as an additional responsibility of my own, but it did not form part of the JD. So what I'm trying to say here is that people who are in their current roles try to develop a product. Doesn't matter how small it is, try to develop a product which will either add some value to either internal customers or external customers. So this will help you in developing your product sense, as well as going through the iterative process of design, development, testing, and analytics, etc. And that is one. Second is people who are just in uh, like just about to complete graduation or still graduation and have become clear on pursuing product management as a career path. Think there's a lot of resources to go around, right from very good books to structured courses to some like really neat blogs. And I think they also and if especially if they're students, right, they also can look around, spot some problems, can be like very local problems, doesn't have to be global problems, and build a solution for that. Can be an application, can be a website, um, or it can be both, and try to solve that problem. So again, what this will help them again with their product sense and going through that iterative process of design to analytics. So I mean, there's not much. I mean, honestly speaking, there's not much substitute to having that real hands-on experience. So try to get that as much as possible. Is what my advice would be.